Stop the fights. You may lose your life. He no say hello. He no say, my sister, I'm going. Hi guys, welcome to the channel. I hope you guys are doing good. So today's video is a get ready with me. I'm going into town and I just needed to talk to you about this video I saw a few days ago. So I'm just going to be putting on my makeup and we're going to be gisting as we go along. So I saw this video a few days ago, I think a couple of days ago, and it was just really shocking. So I've already moisturized my face and I'm just going to go in with my primer. I'm going to be using the e.l.f. primer. I just started using this primer and I'm not sure if I like it, just because I don't really like that wetness. The Elegel Pro, which I've used for a while, has got a dry, pretty matte finish to it. So I'm just going to be using that. I saw a video a couple of days ago about a lady who, her sister had come online to, essentially a lady was getting abused by her husband and her sister had posted a video talking about all of the issues and how there's been repetitive abuse in her sister's home. And it was such an emotional video because they were both crying. The sister was crying and really distressed as to the fact that the man had tried to cover up the story. I think I saw it 3 days ago. Yesterday, I saw an update on the story that the lady, an activist, had taken up the case and had reported the husband, and a division of the police had gone to their estate to arrest this man. So the update I saw was the arrest, and then subsequently the wife was pleading that her husband should be released from detention. And I just said to myself, wow, this story is not old. The only thing that was different is it actually played out on social media. Yeah, you see what I mean? It's just a little bit shiny. I don't know. I'm going to be using my Gatsby glue to comb out my eyebrows. I used to thread my eyebrows a lot back in the day. So a couple of months ago, I said, about 3 months ago, I tried threading my brows again, and I just did not like the effect at all. They thinned out my eyebrows and I've been struggling to grow them back since then. Now, my take on that story is the fact that husband and wife matter is too sensitive. It's very sensitive. So you really need to watch how you wade into it. Her sister did such a brave and noble job by calling out such a dastardly, stinking behavior. Because any man who decides to beat his wife is nothing short of a coward. Go and look for your mates out there and fight with them and see if they won't give you basbos. You have a fair chance of knowing who wins the fight. You can't fight with a woman when you know you have the advantage over her. Height, more often than not, will have advantage over a woman in height, in size, in weight. So why would you deliberately go and pick on someone who you know you're bigger than to test your muzzle? Can't you go to the gym? Now let's dry down a little. I'm going to attempt to do my brows on camera. I don't really like doing this on camera because I will be making mistake. Let me try it. There will never be another after you. You're the only one that matters. I don't want to blink. I'm using my Davis pencil. I miss having access to these pencils because it's a little bit pricey here. I bought a couple of pencils and they're just not doing the job at all. So I've reverted back to using my Davis. Unfortunately, they're quite short. Eyebrows are done. I'm just going to clean my eyebrows up with a little bit of concealer. So anyway, I'm going to break this story down into 3 parts. We're going to talk about the man, we're going to talk about the woman, and lastly, we're going to talk about the sister. And I'll give you my conclusion on what I think and my thoughts concerning the story. So first of all, any man who feels he has to beat his wife up to prove his point is a coward. First of all, there's no way you can tell me that however provoked you are as a man, the best thing for you is to beat your wife. You can't talk. You guys can talk about it, create an environment where communication can flow freely. Why would you resort to your fists when you are not an animal? But if somebody calls him an animal, he will start getting angry. So if you're not an animal, I don't see why you should use your fists to actually solve the problem, because it didn't solve it. It didn't solve it. And these men, you'll find that for some of them, when they now go and mistakenly go and kill somebody's child, they will now be crying, it was the devil that pushed me. Which devil? So I'm going to be using my LA Girl Pro concealer. So I'm just going to clean that up.
When I stare at you, I can barely breathe after. Let the world pass us by.
I'm going to be using my LA Girl Pro concealer in the color Fawn. That is going over the top of my brows.
Let the world see what's mine.
I'm going to be using the Sacha Buttercup setting powder to set my concealer. Any man who does that really should get his head checked, because that is just such a barbaric thing to do. And he really shouldn't be in a relationship with anyone till he goes through some much needed anger management, because I don't know where he saw it. But then again, you know, this person could have witnessed abuse going on in his childhood. Again, this is not an excuse, but he's trying to understand the madness behind his actions. Now, concerning the woman is very sensitive again, because this is a woman who has had kids for this man and she's his wife, and she feels all sorts of lovely, loving feelings towards him. There's sentiments attached to it, because if somebody slapped her on the road, a random person, I'm sure she knows exactly how to activate the law. But now, because it's her husband and there's a lot of orishi in the mix, it now becomes sensitive. It's time to get my foundation on. I recently changed foundations. I got the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place foundation. I really like the reviews I saw of this online, and I decided to get that foundation. But the thing is, I couldn't really get my actual shade, because when you get your shade tested, the lighting is not always very good. So I got two samples. This one is rich caramel, and I also I'm going to try the rich caramel, because I just thought this one was too dark. So she knows what is right and what is wrong, and she has chosen to remain in that relationship because of whether not love or I don't know. Because what goes on in the mind of an abused woman, nobody really knows. She knows what is right and what is wrong. You see, I know that, yes, she might be in love with her husband and the whole sentiment of staying together, being married. The problem with that level of abuse is it's actually dangerous. You can only be alive to love. What if this man hits your head one day and you fall down and you pass on from there? I mean, you really need to have those scenarios on the table. Even if you say you want to stay, you should have those scenarios. And you leave your children for who? Nobody can look after your children the way you should. And I think it's even wrong for you to now leave your children for other people who are even having problems, that their challenges that they're going through. I just feel it's very silly of her to continue to stay, because the love that she's trying to protect, or the love that she's loving the man, or whatever is making her hesitate to leave that abusive relationship, is not worth your life. And I think this is common sense. I think this is something that a lot of us know, but people might not really want to apply to themselves when it's happening to them. And it's just so silly, because you may lose your life. Eviadna knew what she was saying when she sang that song. It's not just because she wants to sing about songs. Stop the fights. You see, I like the shade. I actually like this shade. The whole point of a foundation is to brighten up your complexion, not to make it dull. But now you are condoning dangerous activities in the name of love. What kind of foolish love is that? The fact that the man was arrested, which is the right course of justice, and you intercepted and interceded that no, please, can you release my husband? Please. Release him so he can come and finish the work that he started, Abby. The weather is a bit on and off. It's actually raining, so the lighting, bear with me with the lighting. So I'm going to be going in with my LA Girl Pro Concealer in the same color. I'm going to be using the Warm Honey to conceal my under eye area. I don't really like putting a lot of this, to be honest, but for the purpose of this video, I'm going to be using it. When you are not a punching bag, you allow yourself to be punched. I just felt like she needs to make a decision that is in the best interest of her safety as well as the safety of her children, because there's no way those children will not be exposed to a certain level of abuse, especially when they're witnessing their mom go through all of these things. It's not a healthy environment to raise kids or to even be around yourself. I'm going to let this sit for a bit and then I'm going to do my contour. I've always used the Black Opal Stick Foundation for my contour, and this is in the shade Mocha. Yeah, that one. So I'm just going to put it on in the usual areas. So for the sister now, she is a wonderful sister. I mean, that is, you need sisters like that in your corner. You know, if you are lucky and you have sisters like that that are in your corner, that will stand for you and be there for you when you're going through these kind of challenges, you know, because I believe that without the sisters' intervention, it could have been another episode that will be swept under the carpet. You know, we all need support, especially when we're going through things like that, because as much as we want to feel like the husband and wife issue, it's simple. They're beating you, you should go away. It's not that easy. It's actually much deeper. There was a series I watched once on Netflix called Maid, and in one of the scenes, the main character had checked herself into a shelter for abused women. She had met this girl there, very nice girl, very jovial, and the girl had also ran away from her abuser, and she was taking shelter and refuge there. And they formed a friendship. So I'm going to be blending my contour out with that brush. The girl had been vocal about how she was tired of being abused. She wanted to just essentially get out of that relationship. One day, the main character woke up and this girl had disappeared. She went to the front desk to ask, where is her friend? Her friend didn't even say bye-bye. He no say hello. He no say, my sister, I'm going. The girl just disappeared without a word. And when she asked where is her friend, she was told that the husband came to pick her up. And to add insult to injury, she now spotted this girl, I think a few months down the line. The woman looked at her like she didn't know her. And when she wanted to press on, she backed at her like, back off. So you can see where I'm going with that. As much as the sister has a lot of well-meaning love in calling out the husband, tomorrow, do not be surprised if they now use her to settle that quarrel. She may be used as a scapegoat for that issue. That's the problem. That's why you find sometimes people don't want to put their hand, because they will now use you to narrate, to blend out their foundation. Because of the sensitive nature, you can already see that when the activists had reported this to the authorities and they took action. It wasn't a case of, oh, they didn't take action. They took action. The woman is the one now coming back to say, please, we should leave my husband. I'm going to be using that brush to blend out the concealer. As much as the sister has love for her sister, and it's so painful and so difficult to see your family member being abused by an idiot, she really needs to take it easy, because unfortunately, some of them, they've even insulted them. Being able to speak to her sister about it is therapy. But the problem is, you are the one that has to still make the ultimate decision on if you're going to stay or if you're going to go. The woman in question obviously has deep-seated issues, because it takes you destroying a part of yourself. Because we all know what is right and wrong. And these people are deemed to be normal. They are deemed to be, they are not mad or crazy. They stay because they probably have experienced some level of abuse in their childhood or at some point in their life. the self-worth is not going at full voltage. So you find that where there's a diminished value of self, people tend to take things that they shouldn't take on an ordinary day. You also find that maybe she doesn't have anywhere to go. Maybe she doesn't have family support her if she decides to leave that house. It's not an excuse. It's trying to understand what could possibly be going on in her mind, because it's very easy. That's why, I feel like whatever they were going through, yes, it's good to use social media to communicate all of that. I've got my smoothie here, but it's also a dangerous place to bring your personal and your family issues into. So I'm going to be setting with my Sasha Buttercup setting powder. I'm just going to push that in my under eye area. And for the rest of my face, I'm going to be using my Iman Beauty powder. This powder has fallen so many times and it's all in a crumbled state. So I'm just going to put that all over my face.
Your kiss is my daydream.
I'm going to be going in with the Beckham Ageless Cream Blush Palette. And I'm going to be using that. I always like that orange palette. It just gives you that very youthful glow to your skin. Bringing your issues on social media. Why do you want to make in-laws out of people who don't even know you? They don't know your story. They don't know your union. They don't know the reason why you guys are together. They don't know anything about you, yet you jump online and you put yourself out there. I think there's certain things that should be private and should be solved privately. I mean, you should have family members. I mean, hopefully, because these days, the way rather full everywhere, you should have family members that are willing to wade into the issue before coming online. Because I personally think that as much as there's a lot of positive things to benefit, I'm happy about the fact that the activist waded in, obviously from an online perspective. He found out online. It also has a lot of negatives that you might not really like the ricocheting repercussion on yourself, your family, remember the children, and essentially sometimes it actually causes more harm than good. So I'm going to be starting my eyeshadow. I'm going to be using the Chichiefe Captivate palette. This is my brand of skincare and I'm going to be rebranding soon. We need to speak to our children and educate them in a way that they have a certain level of confidence, self-worth, so as to know what exactly is acceptable behavior, even from their friends, and that which isn't. So I'm just going all over my eye area with that color.
In a time when love's dead, I found my one and only.
Right, so I'm going to be using, again, the same palette. It's a multi-purpose palette, so I'm going to be using that gold on there. The woman really shouldn't be in an abusive relationship. I think that's just a no-brainer. Nobody really deserves to be in that kind of situation. And most of all, I feel so sorry for the children because they are being exposed yet again to generational abuse. Because the way this abuse works is a lot of us are carrying learned behavior. It's like a DNA from our parents. Learned behavior where things we had witnessed growing up in our childhood begins to play out in our relationships or in the way we handle certain issues or in the way we accept certain things to be done to us. And that in itself is dangerous because now it's going to have a ricocheting effect and it just goes on and on and on. And I don't think children deserve to be to see and witness such levels of abuse because they will start seeing it as normal. Who knows what this man saw when he was growing up for him to feel like his fists is a problem solver, a solution provider. And the issue, to show you how cowardly he is, they have selective memory or they select where that blow they reach. If you are really like a fist blower. Why don't you go out if you're arguing with maybe even conductor self, or you're arguing with your colleagues, or you're arguing with a random man out there? Why don't you use your fists? They now package that weak fingers and bring it home to come and start blowing and plummeting on somebody else's child. It's just all shades of wrong. So I'm just gonna blend that into my crease so that way it all blends right in. I always like doing the smoky look, I'm sorry, and I'm gonna be doing it today. As I said earlier, I'm still gonna be using my Chichiefe Captivate palette, and I'm going to be going in with that dark brown right there.
I've been lost in my head. I've gone all kinds of crazy.
Oops, I just realized that I haven't baked. So baking is really good. So that way you catch any fallout. So I'm just gonna bake on there.
But I won't drift around. There will never be another after you. You're the only.
It will also help if the country had some more homeless shelters for women, because I know there might be a couple. A friend of mine told me about a few, but it would just help if there is a little bit more and it's out there where people know that there is a place that they can actually run to should the need arises when they are dealing with issues regarding abuse in the home. I'm quite happy because I think a couple of years ago, I started seeing it a couple of years ago, so it could have started well before that. I started seeing some campaigns, especially like within the police stations, where they will put a number. If you're having DV at home, call this number, reach out to this body, send this email. So that is a good initiative, but I think they need to continue with that, and it needs to be more widespread so people know that there are consequences, especially for the men, so they know there are consequences attached to it. It's unfortunate that the sister had said the man had bought his way out of detention. That just frustrates the whole effort of trying to allow the police take charge of that situation. So I'm going to be brushing that out.
That matters. I don't wanna blink when I stare at you. I can barely breathe.
So my eyes are done. I'm going to be using the Rimmel London black eyeliner. I love this eyeliner and I've used it for years. Next, I'm going to be going in with my mascara. It's the Essence Lash Princess. I'm going to be going in with to line my waterline. I'm going to be using the Milai Cosmetics black eyeliner and my kajal. I'm going to be going back to my eyeshadow palette, and I'm going to use that brown to just hue out my eyeliner and put a little bit under. Right, lashes done. I'm wearing really thin lashes. I like my lashes to look natural. So we are on to lips now. I'm going to be using my Davis pencil in dark brown to first of all line my lips. And I'm going to be using my classic lipstick. It's got a nude color. This is my favorite. You can see it's well used and well worn. So I'm going to put that all over. And for my highlighter, I'm going to be using this Zaron Earth palette. And I'm going to be using that gold on there.
take away my
So I'm going to brush my hair and we'll conclude our story as well as the look.
drug. In a time when love's dead, I found my one and only.
So the conclusion of our story today is nobody deserves to be in an abusive relationship. If you are in an abusive relationship, you need to get help and you need to find strategic ways to exit that relationship well, alive, and safe. So I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you liked my soft glam look. Until I come your way again, it's me saying do take care of yourself and let's all learn to live and love each other. See you next time. Bye-bye.
See what's